And even in terms of test grades and stuff, on my last mechanics paper, not the one I did last week, I got 26 out of 26, and it was on variable acceleration, and we just had a class on that.
Would you like to just introduce yourself, just to familiarize yourself with who you are? What was your initial background? When did you join the program, and what was your main reason for joining?
Okay, hello. I'm Nishika. I'm 17 years old. I've joined this program, I think, since start of April. And I joined because I'm kind of struggling with maths. It's definitely a step up from GCSE. And I definitely needed some help boosting my confidence. So my mum and my parents and I thought it would be really good to find some tuition or some extra support.
Perfect. Well, hopefully we've managed to kind of fill that gap and you're feeling a little bit better. So following on from that, how's your experience been so far? I mean, what kind of benefits have you kind of noticed in terms of, I don't know, any improvement in grades, any improvement in confidence, anything at all that comes to mind like that?
Yeah, I think definitely confidence is something that's definitely really helped me. I remember in school and everything, my teacher was saying you have the ability, but you don't have enough confidence in yourself, you don't believe in your belief in yourself. So I've definitely gained a lot confidence wise. Like I feel in terms of maths, you really helped me kind of understand the stuff behind like why we do it, not just like so yeah, I know how to integrate, I know how to differentiate it, but you make sure when you teach that you understand why you're doing this. So maths is all about application. So now I feel confident to like apply certain concepts. And I think that's sometimes lacking from what you learn in school in like a class with like 30 people. And I feel like as well, um, I get like I get undivided attention in the sense where in school I've got 30 people in my class. But here I can like I annoy you a lot with questions, as you know.
Yeah, this is
Every
great.
teacher
Yeah,
does a
this
lot
is brilliant. Yeah, this
of
is
questions.
great.
I wouldn't be able to do that in class. So it's good to have that thing where I can just clear up all my like misconceptions without feeling judged or anything. So that's good.
Yep, that's really, really nice to hear, actually. And it is absolutely what you're talking about. It's part of that like positive environment that we have in our classes, right? Where I'm sure you've heard me say this countless times. Don't worry if you ask too many questions. There's no such thing as too many questions, right? The more questions, the better. And a friend of mine recently actually said, there's no success without failure. And that's absolutely true in maths. You need to make these mistakes in order to improve, in order to move forward. So yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. That's really, really, really good to hear. So another question I've kind of got for you then is regarding the consistency and the accountability, because what I mean by that is you've been making a real conscious effort to come along to all of the lessons we've been doing, all of the extra office hours that we've been doing, on like the Friday and whatever. So how have you found that in terms of the structure and the support when it comes to your own, let's say, revision or your own homework skills and things like that? Have you found that the structure in the program has kind of helped you along with that a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a very tailored in a sense where like there's always a class on Monday morning at the start of the week and it'll always finish, I think, on like a past paper question. So I think, yeah, one good thing about it is not just like passive learning, like constantly you'll be asking questions or constantly you'll be picking on people. And I think engagement is really important. And I think that's every one thing you do. And these drop-in sessions are also really good. So during the week I'm always thinking, okay, what do I need to ask Luke this week
Brilliant,
to help
yeah.
with? What am I struggling with? Or kind of what do I need to do? And then even with the homework as well, you make sure there's different ones each week. And then recently, I think maybe last week, you put where you have to there's like oh the trackers are really really good too because you've kind of split it into every topic so it's nice and clear everything that's in our course and then we can put our confidence levels and you look at them so
Yeah.
it's make you make sure you tailor your classes to our needs which I think is really important and obviously like we spend money on these so it's putting our money to good use which
Yeah.
is great but yeah.
That's fantastic to hear. That sounds great. So you're really getting the most out of kind of those office hours where you said, so how have you found that these sessions at the Maths Excellence Framework have kind of helped you along in terms of improving your confidence? Have you found it's kind of helped you a bit?
Yeah, definitely. Especially last week. I remember I was feeling really stressed and I like because I wasn't understanding something and like especially statistics, statistics, it was really annoying me. And I knew like straight away that you'd be able to clear up everything. So I remember asking my mom, like, I need a listen with me because I don't understand this topic. And on that stats paper, like everything we went through basically came up and I felt a lot more confident answering them. And I'm very grateful that we had that lesson, I think the day before or whatever, to go through it. Um yeah, and even in terms of test grades and stuff, on my last mechanics paper, not the one I did last week, I got 26 out of 26, and it was on variable acceleration, and we just had a class on that, and I didn't revise as much as I should have, and it was literally based on that class. I knew what to do. So yeah, it was great. My test grades are improving. Even my teachers have told me themselves, like, in class, you're getting better scores, your predicted is going up. So
That's fantastic. It's really, really good to hear. I can't believe you didn't mention that to me as well. You got 26 out of 26. That's
it was
outstanding.
just a mechanics paper.
Ah, well, you just brush it off like it was nothing. I remember towards the start of our lessons, mechanics was a point of issue, right? It was one of the topics that you initially wanted help with. So that's really, really good to hear that you can now say, I got 26 out of 26, and you just brushed it off. Oh, it was only mechanics. It was nothing. Really, really good to
Oh,
see.
definitely. My confidence is increasing. And I think a lot of maths is believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Because you like it is like it obviously uses your brain, but you have to, like, in that test, it's not a memorization technique, it's a skill technique. And I feel like the way you teach us and the way you kind of help us and support us is really great. And it definitely makes me feel like, oh, I'm ready for this test. I can go in and I'll be fine because I know how to do it. Like, I understand the reason and the concepts behind it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really, really good to hear. And actually, you already hinted at this before, but you've just kind of mentioned it again there. So, what we try and do with all of our lessons, as you know, towards the very end, we typically finish off with a past paper question on the skill we've been learning, right? So, let's say we're working on, like you just mentioned, variable acceleration. What we'll do at the end of the lesson is have a past paper on variable acceleration. So you can see exactly what you're kind of working towards. Do you think that consistency in terms of at the end of every lesson, we are doing a past paper question? Do you think that's helped you out in terms of getting your exam technique dialed in and in terms of getting that confidence ready so you can walk into the exam feeling prepared? Do you think it's helped?
Definitely. I think at the end of the day, maths is practice and a lot of it is application. So after you've explained it and we've gone through it, doing a past paper question at the end, obviously in our real exams, that's what we're going to get. So it's good to go through it properly and understand it and make sure that we can, like, we do it properly. And it definitely helps build confidence because, like, oh yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I can answer this question. I've just learned how to do it. So yeah,
That all
definitely.
sounds great. Yeah, that sounds perfect, and it all makes sense. That's why we do it that way, right? So that's great. So I suppose to wrap everything up, have you got any closing remarks or any, I suppose, recommendations? Let's say there's another student out there who is debating joining. What would you say to them?
I would definitely say join, especially if you're struggling with maths or you need that confidence boost, because it's definitely really helped me. Not just in terms of grades, but kind of in confidence and understanding. And it definitely makes maths fun. Like, even on a Monday night, normally when you think of tuition, like, you're like, oh, what tuition? But I actually sometimes look forward to. I'm like, oh, my lesson with Luke. It's refreshing sometimes for sure. So I would say definitely join. But yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you so, so much